Hi everybody, welcome to Avowed RAW. This is episode number 2. I am Joe the Widget. I'm not used to saying a single digit episode number. And I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, starting with, I think some people in chat were saying some suggestions for your name.
Oh, for my name?
Yeah, I don't think I agree with any of them.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, logistician, and then you were making fun of fact I was going to butcher that, which I did.
Yeah, which you did.
I still like Space Trucker.
Caravaner? Well,
Caravaner?
The mythical trucker.
The mythical trucker.
The mythical trucker, Kilo. Until I come up with something
I like
better.
that.
Yeah.
I'll take that, yeah.
The mythical transport specialist.
And we're joined by my fellow magician in arms, Archon.
Except that I'm not really going magic, so... But
Well, it's weird. Have to go a little magic in this game?
A little. It's weird. I'll explain it. My build is so weird, but I'll explain it.
Well, Archon and I have both got some good game time in today. I got about 3 or 4 hours, so got a lot of answers or questions answered, and I have a lot more questions. Poor Kilo had to work all day, and he couldn't get in the game. So he's like he said last week, he's playing the role of you guys.
Yeah. Yep. I'm going to be asking questions and just basically drooling over every word that comes out of Archon and Widget's mouths. And
don't ask anything that you don't really want to know.
I won't. I'm a little bit of a spoiler guy where I don't like being spoiled, so I will not ask any
about to mention, we are going to be avoiding all spoilers.
Yep.
And future episodes, if we have to spoil something to have for discussion, we will give you fair warning and about how long it's going to take, so you can skip.
There you go.
But right now, spoiler free. There's a whole bunch of reviews that came out today, and I didn't really look at many of them, but a lot of them were saying that some of the characters were boring, and that was pretty much the only negative thing they were saying.
There was a few different things that I've been spending every free moment today, reading articles and watching videos from IGN to Juicehead, and I get the sense that there's no consistent complaint. IGN actually spoke very highly of the game, except for the fact that it was nothing groundbreaking, but they praised Obsidian's ability to world build and their writing and the story and the mechanics, the little things here and there that did make the game special. Overall, it sounded like a 9 out of 10 review. You know, there are other people that have, mentioned other things that just like the normal nitpicking kind of clickbait sort of attitudes.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, everybody's been speaking pretty well about it.
In my personal experience, I'll kind of get into this a little, but there are a couple aspects of the game that I kind of was like, oh man, I wish they hadn't done it this way. For the most part, I do agree. I have not come across anything that I've been like, whoa, that is so cool I've never seen a game do this before. There's nothing groundbreaking that I've come across yet.
You don't need groundbreaking to make a good game.
Yeah, it doesn't mean the game's not fun and not I'm not looking for that. Whoa, ground! I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a game that keeps me entertained and a game that's fun. And so far, I'm getting that from Avowed.
What's this old saying? It's like there's only so much ground that can be broken.
Yeah, really.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, what we've been looking for, what we were talking about last week, I think, is just the next really good, entertaining, engaging Western RPG, which is I think what we have here. And I think a lot of the reviewers will actually agree with that. Yeah. And I think a lot of the reviewers will actually agree with that statement. I've seen a little bit. I was watching Obsidian's Discord feed today a little bit, and it seemed like there was a few trolls in there, and it seemed like some people were just having problems with their machines, mostly PC players, with the game crashing and stuff like that. But then I had other articles I read where the guy was basically the biggest thing that jumped out to him is that there's very little to no bugs. He had no bugs. He had no issues with crashing or anything like that. So that seems to be a bit of
one big compliment I can give. I had one crash. It was a really funny moment when the game froze. I'll get that a little bit, but
right.
Actually, I'll just say it now. So I was about to equip my secondary weapon, and the only thing I could find at the time, all I had was a dagger. What I started out with, looking at little bit later. So I needed something ranged. I came across a bow early in the game. As soon as I went to pick it up and equip it, my game crashed.
Oh,
It was like the game was saying no and slapping
No.
my hand. No.
That-
I booted back up and it was no problem.
how dare you?
One cool thing about the game is you can change the frequency of your autosave.
That was one
Okay.
question I was going to ask you, is how often, like, that was what I was going to say earlier, but I was like, I'll wait and ask you on the air. It's like, how often can you how often does it autosave? Because, like, I'll go in every now and then, like, especially before, like, if I think something big's coming up, and I'll go in and manually save. But, like, I didn't know how often it actually autosaved.
By default, it's set to 5 minutes, but you can go all the way down to, I believe, 1 minute or less than 1 minute, and it goes all the way up to 30 minutes or 60 minutes.
So no matter what, you're not going to be more than 5 minutes behind where you were if you die or something.
Yeah, when my game froze, I was
That's pretty
literally
cool.
like right around the corner from that. So I
Okay.
just went back around the corners and tried equipping the bow again, and it worked. And I gotta admit, though, my second character is definitely going to be a ranger because using the bow was a lot of fun. And there is arrow drop.
Okay.
You have to worry about arrow
Nice.
drop on that. So
On that aspect, since you brought it up, that is one of the gripes I do have with the game is that when you get a bow, you just have unlimited arrow. Like, you don't ever run out of arrows. You just have unlimited ammo, and that
it's
is
magic.
one. Yeah, but
They're
you're shooting
magic.
arrows. You're shooting arrows, though. Like,
You're just summoning
come
them
on.
every time you come. It's like with that
Yeah.
I'm like,
bag of holding quiver.
There you go.
the only other major gripe that I kind of have with the game is that I do enjoy when games, like, when you get close to an item that you can pick up, it'll like highlight it or whatever, and okay, I can pick that up. But this game, like, from like 1,000 yards away, you can see
see it,
every
yeah.
item glowing that you can pick up, and it's like
He's over exaggerating,
takes-
but yeah, that's true.
it takes a little bit of the discovery out of the game. Like, you can see it from forever away. Oh, I can pick that up. Oh, I can pick that up.
I believe
You're
you
in,
can
like,
turn
a
that
dark-
off in the menu. Actually, you can. It's
Yeah, and I'd rather have that anyway.
loot
That's the
glimmer.
worst. Like, yeah, I'd rather have that personally.
If you can turn that off or turn it down, I'm gonna have to find that option because
can.
it's just it kind of takes a little bit away from you, especially like when you're like going through a dark cave or something and you can't like really you don't have to explore because you can see the things glowing around that you can pick
I
up.
actually
and
have to
you're
get
like,
up close to him to
"Aw."
see him. I get your point on that, and there is.
I wasn't close.
It's called a loot glimmer, and you can turn
that
it. You can
loot
toggle it on and
glimmer?
off.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
It's only on or off.
yeah.
Okay.
I spent, as far as I know, but I spent a lot of time in the menu when the game first started up because I was looking for colorblind mode. That's my only complaint. Is there's no colorblind mode. I need it to tell me when it's rare and stuff like that. But I found out how the loot
Right.
system works, and it's not really a big deal anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean it says it on the items what they are, like if they're rare, if they're.
But that's the thing is how the loot works is all I found was either common items or unique. And how you get like blue, purple, and legendary is by upgrading them.
You can find them as well, though.
I have not seen it. I haven't seen anything about it either.
Not yet. Not yet. It seems like I've seen some on vendors. Like you can buy like rare items on vendors, or they'll be, gosh, what are they? Instead of common, they're like, I think they are called rare or something. Or
They have a different name for
no,
them.
they're fine. They're fine.
I have it
the
written down right
fine
here.
ones.
Yeah, the fine is the rare.
Oh, fine.
Exceptional
Okay.
is epic, and superb is legendary. And it actually says
okay.
legendary when you get to superb because you can go to the slider on the item and see every stage. Because there's like 4 stages per major
Oh, really?
item
Okay.
rarity, and you have to upgrade it with materials. So
Yeah,
I
you
don't
find
even
materials
sell.
and
I
upgrade
don't
'em.
sell my weapons. I don't sell my armor. I break them all down.
Same. I break everything down. The only thing I ever sell is when I like you could find like what is it, rotten food or whatever like that.
Yeah.
I'll just sell that. I don't keep the rotten food, but
I don't
like,
even pick it up.
anything that I can break down.
But I do pick
I
up a lot of
do.
food though, because it is
And
very necessary at times.
like certain materials that are like more needed than others. Like if I see them on vendors, I buy them because it's I want to
use
make sure I have
food.
as many as I can.
I was using food a ton in the beginning of the game. After I got certain skills, I don't use it as much anymore, but I still use it instead of trying to use all my healing potions up.
Same.
Oh, okay.
Because the
Makes
food will
sense.
it'll give you bonuses, like you can get some rare food that will give you attack bonuses, magic unuses, but most of them will either have health or mana. It's not really called
Oh.
mana in the game, but
Yeah, it's essence. I think.
yeah, essence.
How much time did you spend in your camp?
Not
did
a
you
whole
look for in
lot.
your camp
I
pretty good?
did. Yep.
Because you can make food that's even better than like if you take the stuff you find, you can make food that's better. And,
Oh,
and
I
heals
didn't
for
see the
more and
cooking
stuff.
part. I spent some time in
Yeah.
there. Like I spent some time upgrading my stuff and
Yeah,
they're
there's a
tearing
little
stuff
cooking
down.
station in there, and you can like take like some of the different ingredients, like the raw meats and the berries and things you
I
find,
was
and you
wondering
can
about
make
that
them
because
into food.
I've seen the raw meat.
That is
Oh,
that instead of healing you for like 15, it heals you for like 150, which is actually makes it more useful, especially in situations where you don't want to use your like healing potions.
And you
stuff
can
like
actually
that.
eat in the middle of combat,
That's
and it'll
cool.
stop time for a little bit with your quick bar. You can just select your consumables and be up to it. But
Oh,
the food actually heals you slower than the potions do.
Yeah. But you can actually like in the middle of a fight go into your inventory and eat food because it pauses when
That's
you
what I
go
just-
into your
yeah.
inventory. Yeah, you don't have to even use the quick bar is what I was saying. Like you just go right into your inventory.
Grenades are fun.
If you want, grenades are fun.
I mean, I'm a magic user, so I don't really use them that often, except for certain areas where, like, walls that are destructible. Because I don't have a spell that can blow them up yet, but I have grenades that can.
Another thing that I kind of think that they overdid just a little bit in the game is I'm only like 4 hours in, right? And I did this just because I thought it would be funny. I'm only 4 hours into the game. I'm still in the little starting place where you start. I haven't really done much, but I have found, and I am not joking with you, I counted 47 treasure chests or backpacks or some type of chest. I found 47 of them already.
Oh, wow.
47. I think
we talked about in the beginning of the show, some people were complaining that there was too many chests to loot from.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah.
100.
I don't know.
Like I
With
did
my
read
luck,
a thing.
I need them.
I read a thing
Right.
where somebody had said something about that, so that's why I wanted to count and just see how many I found. And
Okay,
it's ridiculous how many I found, and I think that they should have done a less, but with
But there's
better
also a lot of
quality
different.
stuff in
Well,
there.
there's the different rarities of things you loot. Like the backpacks are always low quality, and then different chests, different sizes. Like lock boxes are small. And they contain.
They're not
so-so,
always
but
low quality because, like,
I'm
okay,
getting to the
so
point is the fact that they are different tiers. Like
well, I'm
the-
saying
the-
even the backpacks. Like I've found, like if you look at the backpacks, it's harder for you, but like there's a glowing light coming out of the
that's
backpack.
the point I was trying to get at was that they tier up based on the light that's glowing.
Right, and it's like I found a backpack that had an orange light coming out of it.
I don't because I suck at that. I've only found like 4 chests that are golden, the golden glow. I'm like, oh my gosh! I get over there, it's the same dang thing I just got
Yeah,
the
not
last
much
2
in
times.
it. Yeah,
Well, that's my
It-
luck. I mean, I have more jewelry than you have. I have 3 rings and a necklace, at least the last we talked.
yeah.
But
I found a couple more now.
The only other uniques I've been finding are boots, which I found 3 of them, and shields, which I do not use. That's all I've been able to find.
Oh, you don't use shields?
No.
Oh yeah, you use the wand in the book. See, my weapons, the way this is what I said my build is really unique, is my main setup is a shield and a spear, and my secondary setup is a wand and
I would have
and a
never have
grimoire.
guessed how you would be using a spear from all the times I've known you and playing games like Icarus and...
Well, no, I'm not. I'm not throwing the spear. I'm just stabbing with it.
Yeah, I don't think you can throw them in this game.
But it's so far out of all the weapons I've found, you can like keep enemies at bay with the spear. You can stay just out of range of them and just sit there and poke at them, and it works good for me because then I can like back up or I can parry back and then pull out my wand and like launch shoot fire at them or whatever. Ice. My favorite
Well-
spell is the ice.
Which one? There's several. I know the early stages, though, it's just those ice shards, right?
I think it's like it's like ice sword or something.
Oh,
Ice
that's different
shard.
what I'm using, yeah.
I don't know what it shoots like. It looks like 5 or 6 little icicles at them, and it will freeze them in the spot, and then they can't move, and then you can just wail on them. I switch back to my spear and just stab them a bunch until they like thaw out, and then freeze them again.
I really
It's
like
nice.
I like how slow the leveling is. I think they balanced it very well. I'm 5 hours
agree.
in, level 4. I still feel accomplished. And the leveling is a big deal. Even early levels, like, oh, I got a level, holy crap. And you go put your attribute
Especially-
point in, you put your skill point in, and
Especially for like magic and stuff, because like
Yeah.
the magic really ramps up once you like. I found a grimoire that has a bunch of level 5 spells on it. that
that's the
just
one I
look
found I was talking
super
about before the
strong.
show. Yeah, that I can't use yet because I'm not level 5.
Yeah, I one in the Discord that's got like, what did it have, like Fireball, Blizzard, and like all those spells look so strong, but I can't use any of them because I'm not level 5 yet. But
Yeah, and one of our listeners got something I want. He got the common grimoire, sorry, of the Spellblade, which looks very, very
Yeah.
interesting. But
Spellblade, so That might be the one I was.
That one contains level 5, level 10, and level 1 spell. That one's a different one. I got the advanced elemental grimoire, which requires level 5 for all of them. So it's like the common one I'm using, the elemental grimoire, has just the next tier of spells. So the elementals I like a lot because it contains fire, ice, and lightning or electricity.
It has one of each,
which is extremely useful. And I gotta say, I'm absolutely loving the magic system.
Yeah,
Nice.
he got one that's got Spirit Lance on it, which is a level 10 spell. Even that's gonna be a while.
Yeah,
I really like the one that I found right off the bat.
That was liquid.
Yeah, I like the one that I found right off the bat because it's got the ice that I was talking about. It's got like a channeled fire spell.
Yeah,
It's got a lightning spell, but then it's also got like an elemental shield thing on it.
Yes,
as well.
That's what I got, which is very useful. It's one of the first things I cast in any big fight, especially the boss fights.
Yeah,
that's the first thing I cast. And then we're gonna get into a lot tonight. I want to talk about the companion system. We're gonna talk about godlike and what that is. We're not gonna do any spoilers, but I want to first get into how we built our characters because it's one of the fun things. And honestly, a lot of people were wondering about the character creation. What is that like?
I definitely want to hear about this. Yeah,
it is very typical RPG.
Yeah,
I'll go there. I mean, you do only have human and elf, male, female, which is perfect. I made myself an elf, and I went completely Lord of the Rings. So he looks just like something out of Lord of the Rings. Like I pulled him out of it and put him in my screen. Nice. I wanted full magic. But the cool thing is, which is different, is that you get godlike features. So either facial features or hair or both or none. And it clearly tells you that if you have these godlike features on display, that it will affect some conversations. Yep. And how NPCs react to you. And it does. I've had it happen to me a couple times. Because I didn't do anything with the hair. I turned that one off, but I kept the facial because I have this cool rock pattern on my forehead.
Yeah, some of them are wild. Some of them look like something out of Pirates of the Caribbean, like the creatures on Davy Jones' ship. Straight barnacles on the side of your face and stuff. Some of them are wild.
Part of the crew. Part of the ship. Part of
Mike,
the crew.
if you look at the Avowed General and go up to about 10:30 a.m., you'll see my character.
Okay, I'm on my way.
And he is full Lord of the Rings.
1:30 our time. 1:30 p.m.
Yeah,
our time.
1:30 your time, yeah.
You can see it. It's pretty cool. In Avowed General.
There seems to have been a bit of posting today.
A little bit, yeah. We've been chatting a little bit while we've been playing, but
we've had a few listeners that were excited for the game, and you see what I'm talking about? He's full Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, that's pretty Lord of the Rings.
And that rock, the thing on his head,
stone.
Yeah, it's like stone or metal.
It's almost like coral. It almost looks like
it looks like shards of metal.
I'm trying to zoom in on it. Hang on.
Because all the other ones look
it looks like. It looks like I only know this because I bought a set of dice for my wife of the exact same material. It looks like pink agate.
Oh, but it's not pink, is it?
Agate stone.
It's definitely pink.
It looks pink in the picture that you
I hate being colorblind.
Yeah, it's definitely pink. and if you look at some of the other choices and stuff, they're all very barnacle-y and very shells and things like that. So I think it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be some type of shell or some. Also, the one I chose is just it just kind of looks like I have scars on my face.
I was going to ask you if you did a godlike feature or not.
You have to.
You don't have to. You can turn them both off.
Well, you can turn it off, but when you're creating your character, you have to choose one.
You don't. You can turn them off. You don't have to choose one.
It didn't give me the option. It gave me basically all the different every style it had. It had like for instance bald or these hairstyles. But the godlike, there was no feature.
If you scroll down, it's a toggle box. You turn it off.
Well, when I got further into the character creation, it gave me the option where it said, "Do you want to have it on?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'll leave it on because."
Well, yeah, there's two times it asks you. You can do it during that creation when you're doing them. If you scroll down near the bottom, it has a toggle on and off. Or
I didn't see that.
That last section before you finish your character, it lets you do it again.
Yeah, my dude has these weird almost like scars looking things on his cheeks. That's the one I chose because it was the most subtle, but it was still there and it didn't make him look all weird.
We have a few pictures, and if you look, Kilo, in that chat of some of the loot that people were finding.
Yeah.
But I took a couple screenshots because the graphics of the game kind of blew me away at times. Absolutely gorgeous. And my screenshots don't do it justice. I put everything on epic quality, and it's just stunning at times. I don't know what people were complaining about, because we talked about this in the last week episode, that there were people complaining about the graphics. They didn't like it. They said it was too cartoony, too unrealistic.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to lie, when I watched like the first little opening scene, like I
That
was
was
blown
kind of
away.
cool.
And then I laughed my butt off because it was hilarious. Like it cracked me up.
That's one thing I have in my notes is like the opening scene was like a movie.
Yeah.
It was so crisp and clean, it was like a movie. And then that little creature, ugh.
Yeah. No
That was
spoilers.
gross.
That's why I didn't say, but it cracked me up. Like one of the parts of it cracked me up. But yeah, it's a very beautiful game. I will give it that. The animations, like when they're talking and stuff, are
Little off.
a little off, and it's not as clean as like like Baldur's Gate 3 or something like that.
It's
but
a very,
like,
very hard thing to do is to get facial features like that working.
Yeah, but I mean they did a decent job with it, and it's not distracting to the game
But
at
the
all.
characters look very, very clean and crisp though when you're up to them. Almost lifelike
Yeah,
how they did it. It's really, really cool.
like Kai, for instance, like you can see like he's got scales, and you can like see all the different little scales on him and stuff.
And some of them are
very
scarred. You can notice that too on his face.
very
It's-
clean.
Back to the character creation. So you can do the full spectrum for the face. Eyes, nose, the chin, the cheeks, all that kind of stuff. You can do high detail of that. The body, I didn't really see much that you can really adjust. It was just defaults.
Yeah,
But the facial
wasn't a lot.
features, the facial features gets very, very detailed. I could have spent a long time in there, except for the fact that I already found the character I wanted. And right out the gate, couple little clicks, and he was there. I named him Wigit.
It didn't take me as long as I thought it would to create my character. I figured I'd spend like a good hour creating it, but about 10 minutes.
But
maybe.
then you go into the backgrounds. This is where it gets more D&D-ish, but not D&D-ish at the same time. Let's talk about attributes first. So you have your basic 4 that you see in every RPG: might or strength, constitution, dexterity, and perception. I'm sorry, 5 of them, intellect. But then they have one called resolve, which is not something you very commonly see in RPG. And resolve, I'm not sure how to explain it.
Was there? I don't remember there being a dexterity.
There is, yeah.
I thought perception was dexterity.
Nope. There's 6 attributes. I went mostly default, didn't change it much because of the background I chose. I was 2 strength, 2 dexterity, 2 perception, 3 intellect, and 1 resolve. And I had 1 in resolve. Like, yeah, I'll give it a go. Why not? I had 0 points in constitution, which is for your health, which I regretted later on and put a point in. But you have these backgrounds. It's like your starting character, and it does play a big effect in the story I've seen so far in some areas, but it also determines your starting weapon and like how you're going to begin your game. You have Arcane Scholar, and that background is pretty much like you were in a magic school. You did something stupid. They were going to arrest you, but the Emperor saved you type thing. And then you have Court Augur, which I was really, really debating between Arcane Scholar and Court Augur because Court Augur deals in dark magic, and I was really curious about that.
Nice.
And then
I did Court Augur.
I thought you did something like Knight Scion or Noble Scion or the War Hero.
I went Court Augur because I am still like gonna be some magic, but I'm gonna be kind of like a melee caster.
I already know which one Kilo's gonna pick.
I already know too.
99% sure. So you got Arcane Scholar, Court Augur, Noble Scion, which was kind of like a blend of magic, like a magic fighter. And then you have the Vanguard Scout, which is your archer.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wonder.
That's the one I was really wanting to do. War Hero was the last one. And the backgrounds are interesting. And it always has that disclaimer on all of it. The background you choose is going to can have a major effect in the story. And
it actually does, because when you're doing a lot of the chats, like I can choose an option for courts. What is the Court Augur? I can choose that option in my chat a lot.
Yeah, and I've noticed there's a lot of attribute checks in chat too. Even it'll grade it out if you don't meet the attribute, but it won't tell you how much you need if you can't meet it.
Oh, it's a blind roll. So and I read earlier that when you have the godlike features, that people will respond to you having those godlike features. What can you give an example of?
Well, they immediately go off like, "Oh, you're a godlike," and it's like some mythological person because it's super rare. And some people, I actually came across one instance where they didn't trust me at all because I was godlike because they saw it on my face.
That's interesting.
Now imagine if you don't have it on, that you could hide that aspect and just reveal it as you need to. And there was a couple people like in town, the main port you start in. Well, that's the second place you go to, but I've had a couple people that were trusted me more because of it, or were more intrigued by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of dialogue options based around your stats, as well as your background, and if you have your godlike features available, from what I've seen so far.
Okay.
You know, the
Cool.
funny thing is I was like level 4, and I was messing around and like looking through my little menus in my inventory and stuff. And it was at that point at level 4 that I realized, oh, when you level up, you get skill points.
Yeah.
I had 3
Well,
skill points to
in the
spend,
big-
and I didn't even realize it.
Right when you hit level 1, or level 1, because you start at 0, don't you?
No, you start at 1. You start at 1, so it's when you hit level 2.
It pops it up. Choose one, and it gives you the
I
option for
noticed that.
magic.
Oh yeah,
warrior,
for
and
skills, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the attribute
That was
points
the
though.
skills though, but I didn't know
Okay.
about. I didn't like the attribute points. It just had a little exclamation point on the menu, and I didn't realize that. I didn't see it up there.
Well, the
And,
RPGer
I
in
was
me
like,
knew that had to be a thing, so I went and checked right away, and sure enough, I got 1 attribute point, so I put it right into Constitution, so I don't die as much.
I don't remember. Like I can't think of any game that I've had to put attributes in like when I level since like the original Diablo. So I don't
Still
know.
gotta go back.
I
and play that
played
one.
several that have used that. You gotta put attribute point in, and I believe Baldur's Gate 3 does it.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't really play that one that much.
You have 2 weapon loadouts that you can swap between. I don't know if you ever get a third, but there's at least 2. And I'm pretty sure you don't get a third, from what I can see. And like we said in the last episode, you can swap that at any time. And if you have you're using mouse and keyboard, it's just you can do your mouse wheel and scroll between them, or it's like left
Okay.
alt and you can switch, and it changes your. It doesn't really change the skills on the bottom though.
No, it just changes what weapons you're using.
Yeah, and how you fight with them, which is a big difference because I'm
Interesting.
using my, like we talked about earlier. Well, that's the thing is Arcane Scholar started with a dagger. I thought for
Yeah, I
sure I was
didn't
going to
start with a
one.
weapon at all.
It's the one
Oh.
that you find when you first wash up on the beach.
Oh, see, and that's weird because I did the auger one, and I started the first weapon that was there was like a mace.
Oh,
So I was like, huh. And it's kind of cool, like when you swing the mace at somebody, like you hit them, and then there's like kind of a drag as you're like hitting them. Like it's not like a just slash through them like you do in a normal thing. Like it actually feels like I hit them, and it like caused me to drag like a little lag in my hit type of thing. So
I will give you
actually,
guys
like,
a
feel
little
like you're hitting them.
hint that when you're in the starting area in that little bay, not a bay, it's like a lagoon.
okay.
Really, really search it. You get some useful things
Okay.
in there that can really help you. And in this game, you gotta search everywhere. That's all I do. I'm
Just
searching
look for
everything.
the things that are glowing.
I see my quest marker down the distance. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get there in like 3 hours, even though it's like 200 meters away or whatever.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time looking around and exploring, especially when I got to the first port. Like I wandered around a lot.
Well-
there was one like chest out there with like a purple marker on it that I couldn't figure out how to get to though, and it was driving me nuts. It was out on like this little island, and I couldn't.
Oh yeah, with the skeleton on there
Yeah,
near the lighthouse. It's on the water right outside underneath the lighthouse. Because I was
Yeah.
trying to figure that one out for an hour too.
I couldn't get out there. I never figured out how to get out there, so I just gave up on it for now. I thought maybe I'd get a ability later that helps me get out there or
That's
something.
what I was thinking, or if you can jump somewhere and get down there, but I didn't see that.
Did you have fun? I had fun. I went all the way to the top of the lighthouse, and then I ran and jumped off into the water, and it was cool.
I didn't do that. Instead,
Oh,
I
it
tried
was
killing
so
myself
cool.
falling down.
Another thing I noticed, like if you jump off a rock into the water, then you jump off the rock into the water, right? If you jump off a little higher, then you plunge further down into the water. And when I jumped from the lighthouse, like I plunged so far down, I almost didn't make it up before I ran out of air. Like I plunged far. It was cool. I like how they
Awesome.
like add that little mechanic in. But there's this one spot up there where there's like a little, almost like a plank that goes off, and it's just, you look down and you see that there's just like a little opening in the rocks, and you're like, oh, I got to do it. I just ran and just leaped. It was great.
I have had way too much fun exploring this game. I'm not an explorer. If you ever listen to our Starfield Raw, I don't explore. I'm always combat based and just trying to get through things. But this game, I can't help it. I have to go everywhere.
It's because there's so many dang chests everywhere. You find so many that you're like, oh, I got to keep looking. Because
For
I
those
might
of
find
you
more.
who are obsessed with your character look, you can actually transmog your armor. Everything. Weapons, armor, you name it. And when you increase the rarity or the quality of your armor and weapons, they change their look as well. They get fancier.
Oh, nice.
I haven't noticed that.
That's me. I like doing that.
Because I'm first person, so I don't really notice that.
I am too, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've upgraded my armor yet, though. I've just been upgrading like my weapons and stuff like that so far.
I upgraded my armor once because I'm using leather. I don't want to use heavy because it takes too much of my essence away.
See, I love that armor that they give you. It looks really cool, and
I
it's
never
like,
got that armor.
Maybe it's a Steam thing.
Maybe.
It wasn't in your chest in your camp.
Nope.
They gave me 2 sets of armor. Both of them are heavy sets.
I got outfit changes for Kai, and that was it.
I got 1 outfit change for Kai.
I got 2.
And then I got.
But no, I didn't get anything else. I don't know if that was just luck or was from Steam. I have no idea. But I never got it, which is fine. I did find a heavy armor later on that I completely dismantled because I had no use for it.
Yeah. See, the one thing about that armor that they gave you is it's a little bit stronger than anything you find. So, like, I haven't really found anything that I would want to equip over it yet. And that's kind of a bummer.
This is an open RPG, which means that you can literally equip and use anything you find. But you may not want to based on how you're playing your character. Like with my guy, I get too much of a hit on my stamina and my magic when I use heavy armor. So I just don't want to do it. Because that little essence meter is my lifeblood.
I noticed that the magic doesn't do as much damage as I thought it was going to do.
Oh, it does. You can. I've been increasing my intellect, and yeah, I can one-shot most things now that are not boss or like mid-range tiered.
When you're fighting a boss, it takes like like I'll use my little fire spell, and each time it because it's a channeled thing, each time it hits, it takes like maybe 1% of his life away.
I do a lot more damage than that with that same spell.
And I am a caster. Like I do a lot of casting. So like I seem to do more damage
bear
with
boss
melee.
With that fire spell. I took about maybe 1/5 of his life off with that fire spell. It only took me about maybe 6 spells total to kill it.
Yeah, no, that wasn't me. That wasn't that bear boss was kind of tough for me.
He was the one I didn't have any problems with.
Is it true? I've heard this one more thing that I read is that a couple people have said this on articles or videos I've read today, that there is an unreal number of bears in the game.
There are a lot of bears.
I've only came across like 5 or 6.
Oh,
really? Okay.
I came across like probably 8 just going to that first quest that you did.
I think I took on 4 or 5.
I came across at least 8.
I think there's 5 in
that area.
A lot of bears. Yeah, there's a lot.
A lot of bears.
I've been fighting mostly those lizard people that I always forget their name because it's weird.
Yeah.
And I wasn't write it down.
I have fought a lot of them too. And those stupid bugs.
No, I haven't come across too many of those. Spiders a lot. Because I found the spider dungeon, which is my first dungeon I did. Only one I found so far.
I haven't been in there yet.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten in there yet.
It's worth it. And the spider bosses. Oh yeah. It's a lot of fun. And that's where you get let's talk about godlike really quick here. So the godlike bar is not something you can put attribute points in like you do for the other 3. So you only have really 3 you put points in. The warrior one, the archer one, and the magic one. The companion is separate on its own because that's based on your whatever companion you have and what abilities they have.
Okay.
So you can adjust points for them to whatever abilities that you want them to use and how you want them to use it. The godlike, you unlock them from story elements of the game.
Yeah, you get different skills at different points in the game.
Yeah, and you don't have to put a point into it to unlock it. It comes automatically unlocked. I got my second one earlier. And so did Archon because he did the same quest I did. And the first one is actually very interesting. It's all based off of stealth. And it's a one-shot ability in most things. If you can sneak up to him, I call it the Halo Blade.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. I did use it.
Yeah.
I did use it once.
Okay.
You get like this, you sneak up on them, and all of a sudden you pull out this like energy blade and they're just done.
Yeah. Okay.
It is pretty cool.
I like that.
I did do that once, but then I haven't been able to replicate it because I don't do a lot of sneaking. I'm not a stealthy kind of guy, especially not in my heavy armor.
I don't.
Is it still stealth if nobody survives?
No.
I have used stealth periodically, like opening Savo, pretty much, but that's it.
I think, I'm pretty sure that my build is going to be all fighter and magic.
So you're doing kind of like a red mage hybrid?
Kind of, because, so I put a point. My first point I put into the magic missiles because I use those a lot and they're pretty strong. But my second point I put into a fighter ability that makes it to where you slowly recover 50% of the damage you took. So whenever you take a hit from something, you recover 50% of that damage. And as you level it up, it gets all the way up to 100%. To where if you can avoid any more attacks, you'll just recover all that health. And it's super useful. But yeah, so I'm kind of doing a hybrid between the two.
That's the only thing I put in the warrior one so far was that ability to gain health.
Oh, yeah.
Because that saved my neck. But I put every other point in my magic though so far.
Especially since I I seem to have an issue with health pots. Like, there's just not enough.
I've actually been able to maintain them. I only went to the store one time, and
when I get hit, I get chunked.
oh yeah,
Takes a ton of my health. And
imagine being in leather armor.
I'll use food, but like when I use food, it like still recovers so slow. Like you gotta like run around like a chicken with your head cut off. But then I've figured out the space bar.
Yeah.
And that the space bar is dodging around is amazing.
I've never been able to block because I went immediately to dual wield dagger as my second loadout. Once you dual wield, you can't block. So I had to learn how to dodge quick.
Okay, just for our listeners, next week we will have an Xbox player's perspective because they're all over here. They're
PC.
Master PC race crap. So next week,
well, I can use my controller if I want to.
I'll have some insight for the Xbox guys.
Yeah, I could use my controller if I wanted to. I don't know.
Why would you? Master race.
I like using the keyboard and mouse. It's just so nice.
Man, when I finally found the wand and the grimoire, because they come together when you find them first. It made me feel like Harry Potter because the spell you use with your wand, it looks something right out of Harry Potter. So
it is almost identical to the way you use wands in Hogwarts Legacy. Almost identical.
I did not play
flick
that.
The wrist. Here's the interesting thing about magic, though. So your wand, it doesn't have any other spells. It's just that magic missile type thing that you cast with it, like a magic arrow, basically.
What's the Doctor Strange looking thing that I keep seeing in the videos?
That's from your grimoire.
That's from the grimoire. Yeah, the grimoire will have like 1 to 5 spells on it, and like when you right click, or wherever you have your grimoire,
probably like right trigger for controller or something.
Yeah, but when you right click,
left click uses your primary weapon. Right click uses your secondary.
Yeah, so when you pull up the grimoire, it'll basically pulls up another like action bar that has like the spells associated with that grimoire, and then you push the associated spell, and it'll cast that spell.
Yeah,
and some of the spells are way
exactly
strong.
What I was getting to.
Way strong.
And they do have uses outside of combat, depending on where you're at.
Okay.
Especially
you
fire.
Need fire a lot. Yeah, I've come across a couple instances where I need electricity.
Same. I came across one. There's a lot of things in this game. Like I came across one thing where I had to throw a grenade at a wall to make the wall explode to get to the chest inside. Like,
yeah, I've done that a few times. That's what's fun. And almost any kind of, because you get multiple types of grenades too. Which some of the grenades are just plants you pick up.
Okay, plants.
Yeah, and they have elemental to them as well. They'll either have like fire damage you can use. And if you don't do any magic at all, you still have the option to go through those things because you can use, or 1, your companion, or 2, the type of grenades. I found electric ones, fire ones, ice.
Yep.
What companions have you guys been using, and who do you like?
The only one we got so far is Kai.
I've gotten 2.
Is that not the first guy? Okay. Who's Kai, the other one you got?
The other one I got, gosh, what's his name?
The temporary guy in the beginning?
No, he's a dwarf.
I haven't met him.
He's a dwarf. He's like a dwarf tracker that you get later.
Is that Marius?
Just a little.
Marius?
Yes, Marius.
Okay.
Marius, that's his name. Thank you.
I've really enjoyed Kai, how they built that character.
Okay.
One thing that kind of threw me off, though, is like, I'm sitting here just whacking things with a mace or like shooting things with a bow, and then all of a sudden, like, you get this little temporary companion at the beginning, and she just like pulls out a gun and starts shooting things. I was like, wait, what? There's guns?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. I didn't know there were guns.
And different types, too.
Yeah.
Like old school flintlock style.
I'm really excited to kind of get into that because there was one, I think it was in the launch. No, it wasn't the launch. It might have been the launch trailer. And you just see the dude just pull out double fisting like 6 shooters or flintlocks, whatever it is.
Yeah, they're flintlocks.
Yeah.
So really cool. Now, if you're going like the range aspect of it, are you going to go bows or are you going to go guns?
Because there's rifles.
I mean, my plan was originally to be an archer, but I got a little bit of a Percival de Rollo kink where I kind of want to be in this fantasy world with some awesome firearms.
Yeah, but
do both.
Why not to both?
Yeah, use your pistol, dueling pistols for your short range, and your bow for long.
There you go. Okay, yeah.
One thing awesome. I will definitely say shocked me in this game. I mean, I knew it was rated 7, like rated mature, but I was not expecting them to just randomly drop F-bombs
or S. They say fucking shit all the time.
Like, yeah, but the one, like, I'm sitting there just like, having a conversation with this one girl, and I'm just like, yeah, screw you. And she's like, you know what, fuck you. I'm like, whoa, hold on a second here. Like,
aggressive, back it up, man.
I wasn't expecting that. Like that, there's no need for
to
that.
Escalate the situation.
Yeah, it threw me off too. That same conversation. It's like, oh, okay, we're in this. All right.
You are not a lady. Like,
she was clearly not. And there's treasure maps in the game. I bought one off the first merchant I came across.
Oh, I found one.
And I found one too.
I haven't gone on that treasure hunt yet, but
the one with the lighthouse?
Maybe?
Because that's where I found the second one. And that one is not too far away. And I was thinking, I found the spot. I was thinking, how do I dig? I couldn't figure it out. Turns out it was a hidden cave you have to go find.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
And it gave good loot too, so it was a purple chest.
Nice.
That's just my luck. Probably everyone else got a, legendary chest or unique chest.
The color of the chest doesn't seem to matter to me. Like, I'll find unique items in, like, blue chests, and then when I find the green, or, like, the yellow gold chests, whatever you want to call them, it'll just be, like, full of mats. And I'm just like, oh, cool. Well, that's
Every time
fun.
I've gotten one of the unique chests, there's always been a unique in it.
Not me.
But I've only found, like, 3 or 4.
Yeah. I know when I went up in the lighthouse, that's where I found those boots that you also found.
I didn't find those at the lighthouse, though.
Oh, yeah, I found them in the lighthouse, and then immediately figured out that I could get the boots from my camp that were basically the same but better.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I found 3 different types of boots. But I like the one that we got because it has 10% more healing from healing items, so food and potions, and movement speed.
I did find a unique ring, and I got all excited because it's like plus 35% melee damage, and I was like, oh, sweet. And then it's like, but minus 100% like damage reduction or something. 100% damage reduction? I lose 100% damage reduction just to do 35% more damage? That's not fair.
Nah, there's gotta be something to that.
Like, don't be mean to me like that. Come on.
Did you notice that there's no such thing as a normal looking animal in this game except for chickens? They're the only normal looking. Well, kind of, yeah.
Fair.
But when you're in the town, the port, they have cows and they have sheep, right? But they look like a cross between an ostrich and a dragon.
Yeah, I saw that. And those weird looking little lemur looking things from the beginning too.
That was a hell of a description.
Yeah, when you see them, you'll know. You'll understand.
That was a wild description. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. They are weird. All the animals are kind of goofy, but I mean, it's a fantasy land.
Yeah.
And the animals look like a higher rendered version of what they did in the original Pillars of Eternity games. So, like, I mean, at least they're kind of staying consistent.
One cool thing I found out early on is that when you die, you don't die at first.
Okay.
You get, I forgot what they call it, but you come back up a second later and you get half health.
You get like a second wind.
A second wind, yeah, but that has that's a cooldown. So if you get knocked down again, you're dead.
It's a pretty long cooldown too, because I got the second wind once, and then like I died like almost like 5 minutes later, and I died.
I haven't died yet, but I've gotten second wind like 4 or 5 times.
I did die once. I don't remember what I was fighting.
The first time I came really, really close to fully dying was the spider boss in that dungeon. And it wasn't for Kai, I would have had my butt whooped. He taunted the spider off me right at the right time as 3 different small spiders came into the scene. It was a fight.
That's one thing I really like about the ice spell is like if your companion goes down, you can like freeze them and get your companion back up real quick.
Yeah, I haven't had him go down yet, but I did have that bear boss coming at me, lunging at me when I was almost dead. I hit him with ice and he froze with his like claws out at me, right in front of me. It gave me enough time to pop a potion and get out of there.
Yeah, that dude, he's rough. Like the bosses in this game are no joke. I'm not gonna lie, they are. I've had to actually play. Like, what difficulty?
Even
the
mid bosses. I'm on normal.
Yeah, same. I just played. I'm just on normal for the first playthrough, but
and it's still a challenge. I almost died the first fight. The little opening fight between 2 little lizard people. It was just I didn't know what I was doing, and I had a dagger. Yeah,
that first guy. That was who I died to. The first time I came upon one of those little lizard guys that had the spear and the shield. He just like wrecked me for some. Like I couldn't do damage to him, and he kept like stunning me and then just like stabbing the crap out of me.
It actually tells you what to do in the beginning, how to fight him. And it took me a minute, but yeah, I've been calling those like elites, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, they're a little tougher than normal mobs.
And I've come across like 3 or 4 different lizard elites types that are they're a pain. One little thing I found out, a little tip for everybody, because I Took me a little minute to figure it out.
Okay.
In your inventory, if you get full inventory, instead of dropping things, you can hit, for PC, you hit R, and it will send it to your camp stash.
Yep.
So you'll keep it, but it still goes to your camp. So
yeah,
all the weapons.
I just break stuff down so that I don't have to worry about having a full inventory. Every time I find a couple items, I just break them down for materials.
That's
I
a
didn't
nice
see how to break them
feature,
down.
though.
Yeah, if it's something you want to keep, like you get a couple uniques that you want to save for later.
Is there a limit? Is there a limit in the camp inventory? Or
yeah, I believe so. I think there's.
I'm sure there will
slots.
be. Seems like there should be eventually. Like
I've thrown a lot of things into it, and I haven't run out or even come close to running out. So it's expansive. Lockpicking is different because it's just pretty much an automatic thing. I've only lockpicked one thing. No mini game. It just went through a little bar and I picked it.
The only thing with lockpicking is some things take like multiple lockpicks.
Is there a chance for failure?
I don't think so, but like there was one door I came up to that said I needed 3 lockpicks to work for it to work. For me to be able to open it, and it took 3 lockpicks.
Yeah, the only lock thing I've come across so far was a little lockbox, and it was just one.
Yeah, there's right there in the first port, I found a room that had a purple chest in it that took 3.
I couldn't figure out how to get in that room. It was driving me nuts because the door is blocked, and then the other door is barred.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure it out. I just gave up and went somewhere else.
Look up.
I did. I went up.
It's on this. You got to go up through the ceiling.
The ceiling wouldn't have any way to break it.
There's a way.
It didn't have that option. That was driving me crazy. I was sitting there throwing fire at it, and I should use a grenade. Didn't even think about that.
You don't need a grenade. There's a way. There's like one spot that you got to find that you can break through.
Yeah, I'll have to go back there and figure it out later on. And my luck is holding through and holding true on everything. And last thing I want to bring up was totems. So there's these pieces you can find that are hard to find.
Oh.
I found 2 out of 6 so far. And
Only found 1.
I'm not sure where they're for, but when you go into your camp, there's a place you could put totems down. So I don't know if they affect something in the game or they're just decorative or what, but seeing how rare they are and hard to find, I'm assuming there's something good.
You gotta collect all the pieces and then like you create the totem and you can put it down.
Yeah, I was wondering what it does when you put it down.
We'll
it gives
find
you
out.
some bonuses or what, but one last thing to bring up too. You have your skills that you get in your menus for your skill points, right? But that's not all the skills that are in the game, because you get a lot of skills based off of your inventory, your equipment. You can get skills from armor, I found out. But also your weapons can give you special skills as well that you can use.
I have not found that.
Kind of like the Grimoires, but that one gives you different spells. But from what I saw and read, you can get a dagger that has a special slash ability.
Well, that's cool.
That's sweet.
I did notice that once you get the skill, you can also like get multiple ranks of the skill, which is kind of cool too. Like you can level up your skills.
That's what we were talking about in episode 1. I wasn't sure if it was be like Starfield, if you had to do some kind of special quest or use that skill so many times to unlock it, but no, it's level based. From what I saw.
As long as you don't have to go in the same temple over and over and over and over and chase lights, then I'm happy.
So, any thoughts, Kilo?
I'm just excited to get into it. I'm
excited for you to get into it, man.
Itching. I'm itching for it. You know, after hearing you guys talk about it, you know, on today's show, and I I was thinking about doing the Archer thing, but I don't know. There's no way I'm not going to end up having a gun.
I've been so tempted to try a gun as my secondary.
You can be an archer and then have dual pistols or something in your secondary slot.
Right. Right. Haha. You're out of arrows, I see. Click.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Combat's kind of fun.
You can't run out of arrows. You can't run out of arrows, but if they get too close, I mean, then you pull out the pistols and just go to town.
There you go, man. Yeah. Now, is there, because we were talking about this last episode too, is there like a parkour-esque mechanic within the game?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. When you jump, if you're close enough to something, when you jump at it, you like grab and like pull yourself up.
And there's like the lighthouse, for instance, is like a good example of that. You got to parkour your way all the way to the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool. Sweet, man.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of
and
running
there's usually
around,
indicators,
jumping around.
Usually there's indicators that tell you, yeah, you can climb here. Like on wood things, they'll have a rope dangling or something like that.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited to get into it. And
combat's a blast. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do with my secondary loadout because I'm pretty much exclusively using my wand and Grimoire right now.
Yeah, sure.
I don't ever switch to my daggers anymore.
I was going to go full caster, but since you went full caster and he was going archer, I figured I'd do like kind of a melee mage just as like a...
You never go full cast.
Something different. go something different so that we have different perspectives on the show. So
Right. No, absolutely.
I'm going Battle Mage. We'll see how it works out. I think it's
Oh.
going to work out great.
My second character is going full Legolas.
There you go.
My second character is going full caster, going full Gandalf the White,
Never go full caster.
Never go for it.
going full caster.
I'm still trying to figure out how to do my secondary.
Playing a dude.
Uh,
All right. Anything else we want to mention before we wrap up the show tonight? I don't want to go into too much because I don't want to give too much away to it, but
yeah, same.
Yeah, I think we about covered it. If you don't know, early release started today, which is available for about $23 on Game Pass.
yeah, if
get
you
in
have
a
the
little
subscription.
Few days early. Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth it. Give you the weekend to play it before it's
Heck
in everybody
yeah.
else's hands. Yeah,
I'm ready to get this show edited so I can get back on the game for a little bit before I have to go to bed.
priorities, man. We gotta get that done.
Oh yeah, show first. Show first. I'm working on getting permission to use the game's music because the game's music is absolutely fantastic. It is really, really good, and I want to use it for the show. So if you're listening, Obsidian, we just need a little note from you saying, "Hey, yeah, you can use our music."
Yeah,
that'd be great.
Touch base with us.
Great.
Also, as we mentioned before, we would love to get some of you guys on the show just to talk shop and talk about the game and your own experiences in the industry. It'd be a great conversation.
We can record it anytime. Just let us know.
If Starfield can be any indicator for you guys, like we were the number one Starcraft or Starfield podcast for a long time, which means we're just going to be the number one Avowed podcast. So, you know, we're the ones you want
our in-house podcast.
We're the one that you guys want to work with,
and we want you guys to work with us too, our listeners. And the best way to do that is to get on our Discord. Our Discord is discord.gg/raw podcasts. RAWPODCASTS. Type that in your browser and you'll join right into it. And we had a couple things like content for the show is one of our areas that we have. And they didn't really go too much. It was just a bunch of laughing at the fact that I swore on the last episode and the fact that they're trying to come up with Kilo's name for the show.
Yeah.
But we had a lot going on in Avowed General. A lot talking about the loot and the aspects of the game. We have questions in there. We have combat and builds. Avowed announcements, which we pulled directly from Avowed or Obsidian themselves.
Yep.
So come on in, check it out. We have all kinds of nerd channels throughout there. Starfield, you name it. Discord.gg/raw podcasts. And we're going to wrap up the show. If you guys want to email us for anything like business, such as advertising to the show and things like that, podcastraw@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook, Raw Podcasts. On X, we are at Avowed Raw. And our Instagram,
Raw Podcast 1.
Raw Podcast being our parent group for our podcast we do. And we have Raw and Nerdy, which is our primary show for the network. It's all about everything nerdy. Science, tech, movie, TV, gaming, you name it. Check it out. We've been doing Gaming Through the Ages every week, starting from Atari 2600, and we just got done with GameCube. And you can follow us individually as well. I am at The Wigit, TheWigit, everywhere.
And I am Kilo Tango 1122 everywhere.
and I am the Archon 606, pretty much everywhere.
Have a fantastic time in Avowed, everybody, and get your hands dirty and have fun.
Peace out.
Have a great week, guys.